In God of War 2018, we had Midgard, Alfheim, Helheim, and Jotunheim were all realms explorable and playable during the main game, while we had Niflheim and Muspelheim being optional realms for combat challenges. However, due to Odin blocking them in God of War 2018, we were unable to access the other three realms on the realm table, being Asgard, Vanaheim, and Svartalfheim. But as you'll see in the gameplay here with God of War Ragnarok, we did get a fresh new look at the Svartalfheim realm that breaks down specific aspects of this realm as well as other things that will be in the God of War Ragnarok. So what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back in here on Plays and Source, and we're going to talk a little bit about God of War Ragnarok and some new things that we found in this gameplay. Now, before we break down the new details of the Svartalfheim Realm, we do have two other breakdowns uploaded on the channel right now that go over combat details for God of War Ragnarok, and a gameplay breakdown that we did that goes over some new details and aspects that I found in God of War Ragnarok. Then we go check out those videos that were uploaded last week, links below in the description as well. So unlike God of War 2018, we will be able to go to all 9 realms in the Norse mythology in God of War Ragnarok, which does mean that we will be able to return to past realms explored in God of War 2018, but according to game director for God of War Ragnarok, Eric Williams, it is said that the original realms in God of War 2018 will, quote, feel new again due to Fimbulwinter and the effects that it's having across all 9 realms. And they use specifically the aspect of Midgard and how that has been adapted and changed due to Fimbulwinter. So Fimbulwinter was brought about, of course, by the beginning of Ragnarok, and it makes Kratos and Atreus, his home region of Midgard, a frigid wasteland. The Lake of the Nine has frozen over as seen in gameplay before this point, which makes them have to rely on new modes of transportation across the 9 realms, including for Midgard specifically being frozen over, them utilizing a sled being pulled by 2 wolves named Specky and Svana. I probably said those wrong. You maybe don't say the S, I don't know, but you know, those 2 wolves that we see them being pulled by on a sled in Midgard on the frozen over Lake of the Nine. And just like in God of War 2018, there will still be the more traditional way of getting around, which is just the boat on water and all that, but no doubt having a more varied way of moving through this land in Ragnarok and moving through all the 9 realms will add for a more expansive journey that the players will go on. So now we go into our brand new realm for God of War Ragnarok. It is called Svartalfheim. We have seen this in previous gameplay bits from God of War Ragnarok, but we get some more details about this realm specifically. So this is the realm of the dwarves, so we'll probably have a lot of emphasis on Brock and Sindri here. Maybe they might come join us here on this journey. We don't see them in the gameplay, but you know, due to them just being able to kind of just travel between the realms very quickly and stuff like that with their abilities, I'm sure they're going to be able to pop up here in their home realm. And the level designers over at Sony Santa Monica, being James Riding and John Hickenbottom, say this about God of War Ragnarok's level design. Quote, "We wanted to evolve the gameplay in the level spaces, more variety and verticality. In Svartalfheim, you've got a lot of places that you go to all within one realm. It's so much content." And honestly, the way they describe Svartalfheim and the way they really show it off, it looks really cool. So it's a like technically mechanical city with plenty of intricate wooden structures, and it looks like a more, think like, you know, steampunk, cyberpunk, right? But not steel, but you're working with wood here, right? So it's a very much like a very developed, technically advanced type of city that are derived from things that we would probably call of an older type of technology base. But in terms of the world of God of War in this specific instance, it is very much of a futuristic type of vibe, even though it's more of a wood type of overall ambiance and material use with the city itself. It looks really cool and everything. And in Svartalfheim, you'll be able to use the Leviathan axe to freeze over water geysers and use the Blades of Chaos to dismantle boiling pots to progress through the realm and solve environmental puzzles in the realm itself. And so you'll be able to walk on the frozen geyser as you freeze it with the axe, or with the Blades of Chaos, it'll be able to start turning over this like wheel that lifts up a gate and everything, and you'll be able to progress through the realm, different stuff like that, as well as Atreus being able to assist by firing arrows at unreachable objects. Hickenbaum goes on to say, quote, "We wanted to show off the dwarves and what they've really been doing here. They're using water to propel and move things even throughout the different biomes. You can see the dwarves creating huge environments, and then when Kratos comes in, it's like, how does he really bend the environment to his will. And we see here that he's able to freeze the geysers and stuff like that, and really, mess up these boiling different pots to progress through the realm and stuff like that. It's really cool to see how Kratos can really utilize the dwarves realm of Svartalfheim. But one thing in the article as well, by the way, link below in the description to not only the video of this gameplay, but also the article that goes along with this. There's going to be more NPCs in Svartalfheim that we're used to from God of War 2018. So a big change in God of War Ragnarok is laid out by writing here, who says the following, quote, "It was a little lonely in the last game. So specifically with Svartalfheim, we're trying to show this lived world. There are things here besides just you two. So there's a bunch of different other dwarves, I'm assuming, that we'll run into and meet and all that. And do hope Brock and Sindri make a return. You know what I'm saying? Definitely do want to see plenty of them in Ragnarok. But seeing more dwarves definitely is going to be really cool to see in the game as a whole. So overall, honestly, that's pretty much all the info we got here. You know what I'm saying? I have some quarrels about the amount of info that we're getting with these dumps. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll talk about that on Twitter, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? A very, very limited look here at Svartalfheim and some details here and there. But there are some things that I found here that could be pretty interesting for you guys. So first up here, we clear as day see Odin's Raven flying as well. So this definitely will surely be a trophy that's probably necessary for the platinum. That's my assumption there. Maybe it won't, because, you know, trophies have been kind of getting easier and easier over the years. But Odin's Ravens are back as, at the very least, collectibles in God of War Ragnarok. Next up here, I see this post, okay? Now this one, once again, I may be reaching, okay? Now I'm on the blue marking watch, right? I'm looking around for God of War Ragnarok gameplay for blue markings, and there are blue markings here on this post that seems to be pointing in a specific direction. Now, there are other markings on the ground as well that are white, but if we look at God of War 2018, those definitely reflected more of just ways that you can climb up things, and those seem to be in similar spaces in God of War Ragnarok, right? So maybe those white markings are just more literally for the player as opposed to being cooked into the overall narrative, right? But I'm not so sure, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see, but there are these blue markings here on this post. Looks kind of suspicious. Just want to throw that out there, that, you know, there may be someone that are behind these blue markings that are guiding us on our journey to end Ragnarok. Just like in God of War 2018, we do have the glowing chests that have certain different goodies for us to have as Kratos, but we also see in the background the 3 rune kind of wide chests that require Kratos to find the 3 urns around the play area to open the chests and everything. We do see one of those chests in the background of the water geysers section of this gameplay. So cool to see there, cool to get that confirmed that we do have those water chests available in God of War Ragnarok as well. But also in the distance as well in this gameplay, you'll see this like red looking logo thing that looks hittable, right? Like I remember hitting things that look similar like that with the Leviathan axe in God of War 2018. So maybe that is something that will be able to control the water contraption that it's connected to, or it might be for the Blades of Chaos, or maybe for Atreus' arrows or something like that. We'll see, but definitely this article does cite that Atreus will be able to use his arrows to hit unhittable things that are out of reach. So maybe this is one of those examples with this red orb. And one thing I want to mention here is that the barrels in the water are back from 2018, so these will probably have hack silver for you if you hit the barrels in the water as you are moving through it. And so the last thing here I want to bring up is the dialogue between Kratos, Atreus, and Mimir. So I don't know, guys, I found this kind of suspicious how they kept the captions on for this gameplay to show the Game Informer, right? But we don't have any of the dialogue voices, which definitely does make sense. We didn't have dialogue in the previous gameplay stuff, but to intentionally have the captions for this one specifically, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But let's read what they say here. Atreus says, if the geysers and smell here are worse because of Fimbulwinter, maybe the earthquakes are too. Mimir says, you might be onto something, lad. And then Kratos later on in the gameplay says, Atreus, look ahead when they go towards the city, which Atreus ends off with saying, wow, now this looks like a city. So we can at least gather a few things here. So one, with Atreus' last words, maybe this is derived from when they are heading towards the city, that they see a bunch of things that don't look quite like a city, and that's why he says this looks like a city now. Maybe that's my thought. That's probably what it is. But the more interesting thing here is what Atreus says in the way beginning, when he says, if the geysers and smell here are worse because of Fimbulwinter, maybe the earthquakes are too. That there are earthquakes around the realms happening because of Ragnarok, because of Fimbulwinter. That's very interesting. And like, I wonder how widespread those earthquakes are and like how much of a problem those are going to be because Fimbulwinter and Ragnarok are coming. Just something to note there, you know what I'm saying? Definitely really cool context here to see the state of the realms due to Ragnarok and Fimbulwinter incoming. And just two more things I forgot to mention is that Kratos calls Atreus by his name Atreus, right? Which is big because of course, if y'all remember, how could you forget? In God of War 2018, all Kratos pretty much referred to Atreus as was boy. So it looks like maybe the boy meme is over, and with Ragnarok, he will be calling Atreus by his name Atreus. And lastly here, we have Mimir saying welcome to Nidavellir brothers, or how do you say that, Nidavellir? I'm gonna say Nidavellir, that probably sounds kind of right, but probably wrong, I don't know. But that is another word for Svartalfheim. It's the same type of, you know, naming scheme for the realm, just a different name for it. And they're really cool to see Mimir call Kratos and Atreus brothers. Just see how close their tight-knit bond is since the first game. But that is all I found here on this look at Svartalfheim from God of War Ragnarok. Down below, what are your thoughts? Did you like the gameplay? Did you hate the gameplay? Are you also kind of like annoyed how there are just these like little bite-sized, you know, things? I know it's not Game Informer's fault. Like, this is, you know, like this is just what they were given. But I am questioning Sony in terms of like, are we going to get, you know, at least a God of War Ragnarok state of play? But you know, that's neither here or there. Down below, what are your thoughts? And make sure also, while you are down there, do not forget our description. You can find links to our Discord, our Twitter, and of course our Anchor link that you can listen to Road to Part 1, the weekly podcast dedicated to any and all things Last is Part 1. This week we have a lot to discuss about the game. I've been playing it here offline, and yeah, I got some thoughts to say about this game that we will definitely get to on Road to Part 1, uploading Sunday 10 a.m. this week. Glad to you've enjoyed it as well. Stay subscribed to the PlayStation Store to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank God for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.